Hey guys, what's happening and welcome back to our channel. Can you believe 5,700 people died in the flood mudslides in India? Landslides are life-threatening events that can make it seem as if the world we live in is crumbling around us. Sometimes, these landslides can be so massive they can actually kill thousands of people. Some people got lucky and these landslides didn't get them, but they were able to record them. Let's look into the 10 most massive landslides that were caught on camera. Number 10. Sichuan Landslide, China. In 2017, a catastrophic landslide occurred at Sinmo village of Mao County, Sichuan Province, China. Soon after the event, some research teams carried out field investigations in order to both support the emergency operations and to understand the failure mechanism and possible evolutionary scenarios. Based on a further in-depth interpretation of high-resolution remote sensing images and detailed field surveys, it's been recently discovered that there are at least 6 old rockfall deposits in the source area that prove the historical activity of the landslide scarp. When looked into history, it came forward that there have been various landslides in the area in the past as well. For example, the Dixie slides in 1933. It was so massive that they killed over 3,000 people. Number 9. Flood mudslides, North India. One of the worst natural disasters in the history of India occurred in June of 2013 when powerful flash floods killed around 5,700 people in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand. Consistent cloudbursts and incessant monsoon rainfall were primarily held responsible for the disaster, which has been officially termed as a natural calamity. However, a section of environmentalists, scientists, and the educated public think otherwise. According to them, thoughtless human intervention in the Himalayan mountain ecosystem had rendered the ecosystem extremely fragile and prone to the disaster which caused the landslides. Number 8. Hopkong Landslides, Myanmar. The area around Hopkong is without a doubt the global hotspot for landslide fatalities in recent years. Since the start of 2015, news has recorded 33 fatal landslides in the mining areas of Hopkong, resulting in 807 fatalities. This is without a doubt an underestimate. Many smaller landslides certainly go unreported, and likely, even events with substantial numbers of deaths are not recognized. One major landslide happened recently when a mountain collapsed and ended up killing 160 people. No doubt these landslides are brutal.
This video captured the moments when a pile of mine waste more than 75 meters high collapsed into an open jade mine. The pit was already full of water because of heavy rains.
Number 7. Dam landslide in Ituango, Colombia. The disastrous landslides that rendered the Ituango Dam temporarily redundant and induced huge downstream flooding in Colombia in May were a major issue. Economically, this may be one of the most disastrous landslide events of the year. The slow failure led to the evacuation of the 1,500 workers at the site. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but reports suggested that people should leave the site because there may be more landslides in the area in the future. Number 6. Rainfall-induced landslides, Hiroshima, Japan. The dreadful rainfall-induced landslides in the Hiroshima area of Japan in July 2018 induced extensive damage. At least 104 people were killed in landslide events, and there were over 120 fatalities when the impacts of the associated flooding are included. The fact that a country that is so prepared for landslides can suffer this level of loss was a surprise to many. Hiroshima has a sad past, and it seems like its bad time isn't over yet. Number 5. Mount St. Helens Volcano. On March 27, 1980, a series of volcanic explosion and pyroclastic flows began at Mount St. Helens in Skamania County, Washington, United States. It initiated as a series of phreatic blasts from the summit, then escalated on May 18, 1980 as a major explosive eruption. The eruption, which had a volcanic explosivity index of 5, was the most significant to occur in the contiguous 48 U.S. states since the much smaller 1915 eruption of Lassen Peak in California. It has often been declared the most disastrous volcanic eruption in U.S. history. Approximately 57 people were killed directly, hundreds of square miles were reduced to wasteland, causing over $1 billion in damage, thousands of animals were killed, and Mount St. Helens was left with a crater on its north side. That's a lot of damage.
Inside the volcano was released. This explosion was directed northward over the landscape and leveled 150 square miles of forest.
Number 4. Gilgit-Baltistan, Pakistan. October 2020, a particularly massive monsoon caused a huge landslide to come crashing down a passenger bus in Gilgit-Baltistan, Pakistan. There were 18 people traveling on the bus, and 16 out of them were found dead, including 4 Pakistani army officials. Those 2 were only safe because they left the bus at a station before. This is not the first landslide incident that happened in this area. There have been a lot more, and many more people have been killed by these landslides, but this one in particular was caught on camera. Seems like the person who recorded it was at the right place at the right time. Number 3. Sierra Leone Landslide, Florida. Nobody knows exactly how many people died during the mudslide in Sierra Leone, Florida in 2017. More than half a year later, most of the bodies still lie beneath the rubble. But a World Bank report released a month after the event identified 1,141 dead or missing, making it the worst natural disaster in Sierra Leone's history. But the reality is far more complex. Both the causes and the consequences of the mudslide highlight the vulnerability of a still fragile post-war state that lacks the capacity and political will to effectively prevent and react to crisis. In Sierra Leone, rapid population growth and an increasingly volatile climate combined with deeply entrenched corruption that frequently trumps the responsibilities of the government to its people to set the stage for a horrifying tragedy. Even though the whole thing was over in a few seconds, the after effects continued for weeks.
The hospital is overwhelmed and Freetown's morgue is full. Almost 400 bodies now, the numbers rising.
Number 2, Sri Lanka Landslide. On 15th May 2016, Sri Lanka was hit by a severe tropical storm that caused widespread flooding and landslides in 22 of 25 districts in the country, destroying homes and submerging entire villages. At least 104 people are known to have died following this disaster. 99 people are still missing, the majority due to a landslide in Aranayaki Kagali district, which devastated 3 villages. Half of the population was affected by this disaster, many of which never recovered. Number 1, Big Sur, California. On May 20, 2017, The steep slopes at Mud Creek on California's Big Sur coast, about 140 miles south of San Francisco, suffered a catastrophic collapse. Fortunately, it didn't kill anyone because there were no people there, but if it indeed happened in a public area, no one would have been left alive. Indeed, it was that massive. So do give us your thoughts regarding all of these calamities in the comments section below. And before we get out of here, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, so you can catch up on more thrilling events such as this in the future. And with that, I'll be catching you guys later in another video. Bye now!